welcome to my tutorial. I'm going to start off by using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in 12S Fair and then blending that out with a damp beauty sponge. I personally like to use a concealer over a lid primer just because I like the way the colors pop a little bit more, and I think it helps me blend a little bit better on top of eyeshadows. Then I'm going to go ahead and take the Morphe Jaclyn Hill eyeshadow palette and take the color Buns on a fluffy blending brush. The one I'm using is the JH32 by Morphe. Then you can do the exact same thing to the other side and blend until you're satisfied. If you make a mess, that's okay. We can always go back in and clean it up with a makeup wipe. Here I'm taking the JH37 brush and a little bit of the Silk Cream, buffing that in as a transition color to give Buns a little bit more of a blended look. As you can see, I'm doing windshield wiper motions just to make sure everything looks good, smooth, and blended. I take a clean JH30 to blend out any harsh edges. What's cool about doing your face and brows later is that you can always clean up any messy eyeshadow that you don't want to be there, which is what I'll show you in just a bit. I take a clean JH32 with the color Chip, which is a reddish brown shade, just to put in the crease. I use windshield wiper motions again just to make sure there are no harsh lines. Using the JH40 and a little bit of Central Park, I apply this one only to the outer corner of my eye. Since this is a deep, dark espresso shade, you want to make sure it doesn't transfer too high or else you'll get those raccoon eyes. I personally don't like that look. The lid color I decided to use from the palette is called Beam. It's a gorgeous cream shimmer shade. For shimmers, I usually prefer to use my finger over a brush. I just feel like it makes them pop a little bit more. I knew I was going in with a glitter, so I didn't have to use any type of Fix Plus or anything, but you definitely can if you don't have glitter on hand. Here I'm just blending out the edges, making sure there's no harsh lines or anything like that. And then I use the Stila Magnificent Glitters in Kitten Karma. I start applying that with a flat packing brush. You can use any flat packing brush you want. This one is specifically from the Jaclyn Hill collection. Alrighty, so starting with the face, I'm taking the Milani Prime Perfection Primer, mainly in my T-zone, and then blending it out. I do have dry to normal skin, so I usually like to go in with a normal to hydrating primer, just so that I have a good base for my foundation. I like to take the Tarte Shape Tape Foundation in Fair Neutral. This is definitely not my favorite, but it's the only one I had on hand. It is a little bit hard to blend out, but I do make it work with the damp beauty blender. I also do go in with a couple coats just because I do have a little bit of redness in my skin, so I like to make sure I'm good and covered. Alright, so here I take the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer again in 12S Fair. I take my beauty sponge and blend this underneath my eyes just to cover up any dark circles. I also take it on my Cupid's bow and a little bit around my nose. I do have quite a bit of allergies during this season, so I like to have a little bit more coverage on my nose. And then after this point, my camera actually died, so I did have to go straight into my brows, so I'll just let you know now. I set my whole face with the Coty Airspun translucent powder. Next up, I take the MAC 263 brush and the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Pomade in Auburn, just to define and fill in my brows. As you can see, I do have light brows, so I fill them in to match my hair color. I use flicking motions just to mimic hair strands and make my brows look not as blocky. I do like a nice blend, but however you do your brows, you do your brows. Here I take the LA Girl Pro Face Powder in Soft Honey, and with the JH02 brush, I like to do a soft blown out contour. Just with my face shape, I personally don't like to cream contour or do anything super defined. Everybody's different, but my face is a little bit bigger, so I like to make it a little bit more blown out. After that, I grab the Morphe 8W palette and the two right corner colors and lightly blend those on the apples of my cheeks. I do like to blend these backwards just so that they do blend nicely with my contour and my bronzer. Grabbing a clean MAC 263 brush, I use the Maybelline Gel Eyeliner in Black is Black and start a winged liner. I do prefer a gel liner over liquid just because my eyes water so often because of allergies. I also wear contacts, so my eyes are watering all the time. Sometimes I even like to go in with a black eyeshadow just to set this gel liner in place. On the lower lash line, I take the JH40 and Central Park from the palette again and blend that from the inner to the outer corner of the lash line. Then I take a little bit of Silk Cream and blend that out as well. I do like a little bit more of a blown out lower lash line with a Smokey-Eye. Then I take the Pro Last Waterproof Liner by L'Oreal in the color Nude, just on the bottom waterline. And then I take the Flower Beauty Highlighter palette, all three shades, with the JH07 brush. I did decide to just use two of the shades and then added the third one once I felt like needed a little bit more. Since I do have dry skin, I like to kind of put this on the high points of my face, make my face look a little bit more hydrated. Then I take the Lash Paradise Mascara by L'Oreal. I do a light coat just to prep my lashes for falsies. I didn't show this just because my camera died, but I use the Allure Lashes by House of Lashes as well as the Blue Duo Glue just to kind of pop those on. As you can see, I thought I was done. I completely forgot lipstick. So in this next portion, I will go ahead and take a face wipe. I use the Neutrogena ones in the blue packaging, just to wipe off all the foundation and powder that's on my lips to prep my lips for lipstick. The lipstick I will be using is the new Jaclyn Hill lipstick in the shade Fussy. I know these aren't available anymore because of all the crazy controversy or whatever, but I never had any issues. They actually ended up refunding me for this, but I would have rather not had that because I like mine, and I feel like it really did complement this look really well. Alright, and that is it. This look is complete. I really hope you guys like it. If you do and want to see more, please go ahead and like this video and subscribe. Any comments or anything, go ahead and put them in the comment box. But I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!